Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including but not limited to swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children. Hello and welcome to Bibliotomy, the place where we read good books and try to have a nice day. I'm Bugs.
And I'm Bam Bam, and I'm gonna have a good day, god damn it.
Whether you like it or not.
And I don't. So, you like Terry Prachett, right?
No, I
hate him.
I hate
Least
him.
favorite author of all
Least
time.
favorite. I've only read 20 of his 35 novels.
I see. I mean, that's how you can tell you really hate him, is you've only read 2/3 of his work.
Okay, but that actually for me isn't a good representation because I've read most of Orson Scott Card's books and I do hate him.
Yeah.
No, I love Terry Prachett.
Yeah. Is this the first Terry Prachett I've done?
Yes, question mark?
We'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one.
I think it is. I did Hogfather.
Yes.
We've referenced him many, many times.
Right. We do reference him a fair amount.
Yeah.
But we've done Hogfather, and we might have done another one. I can't remember.
I don't think we actually did a different one on here, though.
Yeah.
We've only been doing good books a little while.
Yeah, that's true.
And he hasn't done any bad books.
Right. But today, I'm doing Monstrous Regiment.
Yay!
And this was written in 2003.
Okay. So this was before he passed, but toward the end of his writing career,
Yeah,
I think.
this was his, if I'm remembering correctly, his 31st book.
Okay, yeah.
So definitely at the latter half of his career. Mm-hmm. But yeah, look at this cover.
Yeah.
That's my favorite of any of his covers on his books.
Honestly, some of the art on the old books is really strange and difficult to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that one.
I remember the one of the Death novels, the art was really weird. But on this one, it's just on top, it's a soldier, and below, it's just some nice sultry legs.
Yeah, because the top half looks similar to like either a French or a English uniform with the white cross across the chest.
Yeah, roughly
And a hat with a
Revolutionary
plume.
era European uniform.
Right.
But I think I'm pretty set on this being one of my favorite books of all time, if not the favorite book of all time.
That is some face you're making.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell I was writing about. I kind of went off my script, and I can't remember why I wrote it this way. But yeah, a pair of sultry-looking naked legs, and it says things are getting gendery in here, and it's going to be fun. So let's get a little queer and destroy the gender binary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm mostly going to be focusing on Polly, follow her roughly as she goes throughout the story arc.
She's the main character, and she's the one we meet at the beginning, right?
Yep, main character.
Which, I have read this book. I believe this was actually the first Terry Pratchett book I ever read.
Really?
And it kind of put me off of Discworld and Terry Pratchett because for a first introduction to him, it's just a little disjointed and you don't know who any of the side characters are.
It is jarring if you're not ready for it. I think this might actually also be my first Pratchett book, actually.
That you read?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because prior to the podcast, we had talked about Terry Prachett. No, this isn't the first. This is the first Terry Prachett novel that was just him that I read. Because prior to that, I had read Good Omens. And that was him and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not exactly my first Terry Prachett, but pretty close.
To it, though. Definitely your first Discworld.
Right, definitely my first Discworld. But it was you, just in general, talking about Terry Prachett, and also a YouTuber that I watch his channel name is just Sean.
Oh.
And he was referencing that when talking about some transgendery stuff. And I was pretty lukewarm on the subject, mostly because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So this was a really cool introduction to gender dynamics for me. And I think it's a really excellent showcase of gender fluidity, and it helped me a lot in understanding gender being presentation and not just a synonym for biological sex.
Right.
Though my old opinions on gender politics were never, like, terrible.
It was more like we were raised in the South among semi-Christian people who just didn't have friends that were...
Yeah, just a total lack of exposure. So we begin the story, quote, Polly cut off her hair in front of the mirror, feeling slightly guilty about not feeling very guilty about doing so. I love his sentence structures. They're always just so fun. All those golden coils dropped from her. Everyone agreed they were beautiful, and Polly thought they were wasted on her, as she saw it as more of a hindrance than a feature. She's usually got her hair up in a net because she works at a bar. She also resents the fact that all it takes for her to pass as a young man is a haircut. Yeah, she's not very wide in the hips, and she's not very breasty. She's pretty flat-chested.
Yeah.
Doesn't even require binding. So immediately, this character is kind of all out of sorts about how she's feeling about her presentation. Doesn't care about her hair, but has some amount of insecurity about her physicality in other traditional womanly ways.
Suddenly she feels androgynous, like she feels like she looks androgynous. And before, the hair was like the mark. This makes you girl.
Yeah.
And it's gone now.
In her daily life, she has all the responsibilities of running a tavern, but does not own it herself, nor is she in line to inherit it, because women in her country of Borgravia can't own property.
Yep.
As it is an abomination unto Nuggin, the country's god.
Yes. Oh God,
it's really upsetting going back and reading this because there's so many parallels.
Yeah. Actually, I think this was also what put me off of Terry Prachett for a while, was I was still Christian.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I found this painful to read. Like, the cognitive dissonance was so painful, it took me a while to come back.
Yeah, I feel like the only one worse to start with, coming from that background, the only one that would be worse than this one starting would be Small Gods.
Small Gods, right. And I didn't read that till way later, and I could not have read it.
Yeah, that one's very much more direct about the religious stuff. But yeah, Discworld has a lot of gods, and in the book's words, Nuggin has gone bad. But not like evil, more like spoiled milk. And is giving increasingly insane commandments. And he has like his own religious guide that gets updated every day, like automatically, I guess, through religious magic.
Yeah, because the gods in this world really do exist, really do act and do things, and they have the amount of power based on their
how much
belief in them.
Their followership.
Like, so how many people worship you makes how strong and big you are.
Yeah, they're roughly more similar to, like, I guess, Greek deities than any monotheistic god or anything.
And this god, like, used to be similar to the other gods with his own kind of rules, but now he's saying things that are impossible to do, I think.
Right. He's saying things are abominations, like the color blue.
Even though the sky is presumably blue.
Right. Or that root vegetables are abominable in a country whose entire fucking GDP is based on beets.
Oh, God.
And just like with real-life religion, they ignore all the really inconvenient ones, but we're going to keep the ones that treat women like second-class citizens. And Terry Pratchett is just so good at incorporating, like, real-world problems into his stories, like a refracted version of real life, and I love it.
Yeah.
Polly has all the responsibility, none of the ownership. Her elderly father plans to pass it to Polly's brother, Paul, and her father heavily implies that she is still going to have the responsibility of running the tavern because Paul is a bit simple-minded. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be, like, mentally disabled or, like, autistic or what it is, but the only thing I recall
she's the clever one who should be a businesswoman, but she's a girl.
Right. And he's the one that he has a really powerful interest in birds and coloring. Mm-hmm. So, not exactly sure what his situation is, but it doesn't really matter because the story's not about him.
Right.
Now, the only problem with this, besides all the sexism, is Paul getting drafted into Borgravia's army in its series of never-ending wars, because it's a very pugnacious country. Mm-hmm. And he is currently being held prisoner.
He went to war?
He got drafted into.
Okay.
Well, no, that's not exactly accurate. He was read at night by Polly, the Mothers of Borgravia.
The letter saying you need to come and be a soldier.
Right, and that's kind of
Okay.
like their own little propaganda mill, because this army has its own propaganda mill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the things that gets sent out are the Mothers of Borgravia, and Polly read that to Paul at night, and Paul, being kind of simple, just kind of does what he's told. So if someone tells him that the right thing for him to do is to join up with the army, he's going to do that.
Okay. So he does go and join the army?
He does. And he gets caught up in a battle at the keep at the River Connect, gets imprisoned.
Okay, he's a prisoner of war.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And Polly, as powerless as she is in her country, decides she's not giving herself over to an ambiguous fate as a merely tolerated commodity. Because if her brother isn't around to inherit it, it's going to another family member. And she just won't have any amount of control in her life, though she already doesn't have much.
Mm-hmm. Like her best chance would be to marry and her husband inherit the tavern.
Yeah. But she does expressly say that's not the reason she's going. The reason is just to save Paul. Mm-hmm. Because she's always doted on her brother. But, you know, the freedom thing is also an incentive.
Right.
So, the plan she comes up with, she's going to save her brother by cross-dressing and joining the Borgravian army. Mm-hmm. And as I said, Borgravia is in a war, mostly because it's always in a war. But recently, all of the neighbors that Borgravia has picked fights with over the course of years, along with Discworld's most disgusting favorite city, Ankh-Morpork, which is like super London, New York, Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's based heavily on
It's
New
just
York
kind
and
of
London.
every biggest city in every country, sort of. But mostly London and New York, I think.
Yeah. I think it has some of like Rome, I think he said one time.
Yeah, there's like, that's kind of the vibe. It's just kind of like every huge city.
But definitely European coded.
Mm-hmm, for sure, yeah. But like all the guards like wear sandals and stuff. That's always weirded me out because they're always wearing sandals and armor, and like in my head they're European, but European and wearing sandals, that kind of messes with me a little bit because that's like very much Roman. So that's just something that always sticks out in
when
my
they
brain.
describe the clothing and their swords and stuff, it does definitely sounds like more Roman.
And the only reason that Ankh-Morpork is involved in this war is because Nuggin recently declared that their messaging towers, the clacks, declared them an abomination.
Oh no.
And at the point that Polly is joining, it's less of a war than a country willing to starve and last stand itself to death.
Are they attacking the Clacks Towers?
Yeah, they burnt down all the Clacks Towers, and that's why
Okay, that's
Ankh-Morpork got
why,
involved.
yeah.
And like I've always been a little confused about the Clacks because they're just like sending
They're telegram towers
right
using light.
right, but they're using it's not binary. It's what's the thing?
Morse code?
Yeah, Morse code.
It's Morse
Basically
code with
Morse
light.
code.
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of what I had in mind. So even though they're very much on the brink of losing this war in Borgravia, they're still sending out recruiting parties, even though pretty much all that is left are disabled people, children, and grieving mothers, and women.
And young women.
And young women. So Polly sets out to find one of these recruiters. And along the way, she tries to buoy herself up a bit. Quote, "Forget you were ever Polly. Think young male. That was the thing. Fart loudly and with self-satisfaction at a job well done. Walk like a puppet that had a couple of random strings cut. Never hug anyone, and if you meet a friend, punch him."
Yep.
And I love every time this book points out gendered activities like that. And as Polly goes along, it gets easier for her to slip into that way of thinking, or sometimes hard to revert on some womanly ways of thinking. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, some womanly things she slips right back into. For instance, in the beginning, a stranger in the privy notices Polly and secretly passes her a pair of socks. Mm-hmm. To tuck into her pants so that she can have
a bulge.
A dick bulge, yeah. Later, she gets into a duel with a rude corporal.
Talking. It's hard.
Talking hard. And this is said, quote, Jackram pulled up one of his cutlasses out of his sash and handed it to Polly. It looked amazingly sharp. He won't hurt you, Perks, he said, while looking at the smirking Strappy. I'll try not to hurt him either, Sarge, said Polly, and then cursed herself for the idiot bravado. It must be the socks talking. And I love just all the setup and all the socks jokes throughout the entire story. Like, at one point, she's just like, oh, yeah, after a quick socks change, we were ready to be boys again.
Yep.
After having the socks for a time, Polly is put in a position where she's about to be ambushed by enemy soldiers in an abandoned tavern, and the only way she can think to get out of it is to dress up like a girl. Mm-hmm. Quote, make it easy on yourself. We don't want to have to come and find you. I don't want you to either, Polly thought. I'm not a soldier. Go away. And then the next thought was, what do you mean you're not a soldier? You took the shilling and kissed the picture, didn't you? And suddenly an arm had reached over the bar and grabbed her. At least she didn't have to act. No, please, sir, don't hurt me. I just got frightened, please. But inside there was a certain sockness that felt ashamed and wanted to kick out. So in this moment, Polly is feeling fraudulent, dressing like a girl and acting like one in this moment. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a trend throughout the story. She wants the freedom to act in a way that is not associated with her gender in this country.
Because, okay, you completely skipped that she actually found and was recruited, and there's other people there too, right?
Yeah.
She's in a little troop, right?
Yeah, she goes into the bar and finds Jackram and Strappy. Mm-hmm. And after she gets recruited, there are a bunch of other characters that come in. I think like 3 other characters, which are, they also go in dressed as boys. Mm-hmm. And none of them are boys. That's the big joke at the end of this entire story.
Because there's an Igor.
Mm-hmm. And she's actually an Igorina.
Which we don't know exists until, this time, I think.
This is the first time an Igorina has ever shown up. Mm-hmm. But the setup is also really good because his attention to detail for that character, even though she doesn't have, a huge part in the story. So, in this universe, the Igors have a really severe lisp. Mm-hmm. It's
a trademark.
Yeah, happy to be a Thurvithur.
Yes.
That's their entire thing. Every Igor talks like this, regardless of where you find them at. Mm-hmm. It's really subtle. Every now and then, some of the S's in what this Igor says aren't lisped.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So it's small enough that you could go ahead and just be like, oh, this is probably just a little mistake or something like that. It just didn't get changed or something. But it happens often enough that it could nag at you.
She's rebelling. Mm-hmm. She's rebelling against it a little bit.
Well, no, she just forgets.
She forgets to lisp. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because the Igorinas, they don't have, they have a very slight lisp, almost unhearable. And it's mostly just kind of just a stylistic thing to differentiate themselves from the Igors.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that, the dwarves, they all had to pretend they were Igors and had to act male.
No, I don't remember anything about that. Mostly, it's kind of a similar gender binary to traditional humans. They're just not allowed to do any of this surgery.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this Igorina wants to do surgery.
Oh.
So that's her rebellion, is that she's going and getting surgical experience against her father's will.
Right. Okay. I know that I remember them talking about how, like, the stitches on your wrists and on your face can be prettier if you're a girl.
Yeah, later in the story, when she's girling back up, all her stitches are really nice and small and neat and not seeable if she doesn't want them to. But when she's dressed up as a boy, the boys like to have really big, noticeable stitches. Just as like a stylistic thing, even though they're also capable of really tiny stitching, just like the girls are.
Right.
And then there's a character named Jay. Well, at first their name is Carborundum, and they're a troll, just like a big rock creature.
Yes.
And it's just a big rock creature. No one knows if it's male or female. I don't think that anyone's ever talked about having a male or female troll. I don't know if that's true. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it at some point in the Night's Watch books.
Later on, what's the one with the boy? Unseen University?
Maybe.
Because it's the boy who's really good at soccer. And there's the cook, and her neighbor is
Unseen Academicals.
Unseen Academicals.
Yeah, still haven't read that one.
Oh, it's so good. There's female trolls and that.
Oh, okay.
And they have fashion.
Ah.
And it's a really fun little side bit in that.
Are they like polished up? Because that was a mention in this book, was that she was just naturally craggy and she doesn't see any reason to like polish up like the other girl trolls.
They make them dresses, but in troll styles, and they also like sell them moss, or they sell them plant food to spray on their backs so the moss grows pretty and green. And
see, and if you had read that book prior to this one, she initially comes in and has moss growing on her. So if you had read Unseen Academicals before you read this one, you might have been able to pick up on that.
On some of the hints.
Right, but no one in the universe really can tell the difference between trolls.
Right, it has to be a very obvious attempt at
to differentiate
outside
themselves.
Displays of gender. Yeah.
And it's funny, Carborundum immediately comes in and orders something called an electric floor banger. And it's made with like some mysterious liquid, and by breaking a shilling in half, and it's like immediately starts fizzing like a chemical reaction, and she drinks it, freezes in place, and then falls on the floor and is stuck there until dawn, I guess. And then there's the vampire character.
Okay, I was trying to remember if there were others, because I know there's a few humans too.
Yeah, the vampire one is called Maledict.
Oh, his thing is coffee, right?
Yeah, so he's a black ribboner, which is this universe's version of AA for vampires to get them off of blood,
Because human blood.
they're functionally just blood junkies. But they have to replace it with something else, and he decides to replace it with coffee.
Yeah.
And I feel like this character gets done a little dirty, but like it's definitely in a funny way.
Yeah.
Because throughout the entire story, everyone is getting gender reveals at some point through the story. But Maledict is so good at concealing it that by the end of the story, when she does reveal herself to also be a girl, everyone's just like, yeah, no one cares anymore. We're all girls, we get it. And like that's my favorite joke about the story, is that literally everyone in the story is a girl. Well, not everyone, but the vast majority of them.
Yeah.
And I always think that's really fun. And then the other three characters, I always get them mixed up. There's Tonker, Shifty, and Wazzer. And Wazzer is the super religious extremist who had a very abusive upbringing.
I think her character made me cry.
Yeah, I could see that.
And isn't she like kind of in shreds, like mentally? She
is not all together. Like the only thing keeping her together is the literal ghost of the Duchess of their country keeping her together.
Yeah.
Because in their religion, no one is praying. Usually, no one is praying directly to Nuggin. So they do kind of similar to what certain sects of Catholicism
I
have
was gonna
done over
say,
time.
yeah, where they pray to the mother.
Yeah, they pray to, like in Catholicism, they would pray to a priest or the Pope or something to intercede
Mary,
on their behalf.
to the saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And similar to that, they're doing that with their Duchess,
Okay.
the Lady Anagrovia. Secretly, she's been dead for like 60 years or something.
But they don't know that.
Right, no one
she's
knows
dead.
that. It's just no one has seen her for 60 years.
Yeah, it's kind of based like a cult of personality like North Korea.
Yeah, and there's all these wood cutouts, and she's the only thing they're allowed to have like pictures of. Anything else is an abomination.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of these kind of cult of personality situations and propaganda mills, a lot of military dictatorship rule. And that never spells anything good for women.
No.
So,
But it creates, because of the rules of this world, them praying to her affects her.
right. And yeah, belief in this world very much, it kind of makes her into like a pseudo deity, sort of, but she's in like constant pain because she's hearing all of these prayers, but she doesn't have any actual power to do anything about it.
Because she's also a female in this country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's dead, so.
Well, yeah, but she is basically the embodiment of women
Yeah.
in
yeah, I
the
guess so.
entire story.
Yeah.
She is being demanded to fix it all and has no power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is a good parallel I hadn't thought about. But yeah, she is possessing the character Wazir.
Okay.
I can't remember her actual name. I think it's like Alice or something. But all of them get
They
like
all
boy
have
nicknames.
pitched boy names, yeah.
Yeah, like Polly, she gets Ozzer, even though her boy name that she chose was Oliver. But she gets stuck with Ozzer. I can't remember Tonker's name. Carborundum is actually Jade. Igor is Igorina. Maledict is Maledicta.
And then they have like just little scrappy adventures along the way.
Yeah, and it's... God, this is kind of the problem I have with doing the good books, is that I want to tell all of the little stories, and we simply don't have time for that. What I really want to do is just pick up this book and just start reading it into the mic.
Yeah.
But audiobooks already exist of this book. And if anyone does want to listen to it, I would highly suggest the audiobook. I'm pretty sure the narrator's name is Nigel Planer.
Oh, he's good.
He is really good. Everyone gets a really unique voice. You never have to wonder which character is which. And yeah, absolutely great. I have entirely forgot where I was.
She was
Getting recruited.
pretending to be a boy, pretending to be a girl, and was having to code switch when she was getting grabbed in a bar, a tavern.
Yeah.
But wasn't it abandoned or something? Like it had been empty?
Right. It was,
Or
it was
people were in it?
abandoned because everyone heard that there was getting ready to be an attack.
Oh, okay.
So she gets caught and she has to play barmaid, which kind of comes naturally to her because she's always been a barmaid. And like serves them drinks. Ends up kicking the prince of Slovenia in the Nadgers.
Their prince or a different country's prince?
Slovenia's prince.
Okay. Because they're in Borogravia.
And there's also a lot of intrigue. Like, everyone is lying to everyone.
Yeah.
Because, especially the sergeants, there is a bell curve of cleverness in this story. And at the top of the bell curve are sergeants.
That's not how a bell works. What
Is
do
it
you
not?
mean?
Is that not how a bell curve distribution works?
Well, that would be the average is in the middle. The very, very good is on the right
Yeah,
tail.
you're right. I don't know
The
how
very,
bell
very
curves
dumb
work.
is on the left tail. The average and the majority are in the body of the bell.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do
So
bell
when you
curves.
so what did you mean?
Sergeants are... Well,
'Cause I thought
guess
there was clever-
in my mind, the bell curve is for your station in life.
So you're thinking of a pyramid.
Kind of,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, anyone who is below sergeant isn't going to be very smart. But anyone who is also above sergeant is also not going to be very smart. Sergeants are in the middle of the sergeants are in the middle of the hierarchy, but they're the smartest characters in the story.
Because they're smart enough to not advance.
Right.
Because they know that's where you get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're above all the privates and the corporals, but they're below generals and lieutenants and colonels. Mm-hmm. But they're, by a lot, the smartest characters in the story.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get across.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't know what the fucking bell curve is.
That wasn't the problem. My problem was like, obviously you meant they were...
The problem is that you actually know what a bell curve is. If I had done that with anyone else, they wouldn't have caught it. That's the problem.
I took statistics and remember it. So Jackram is their sergeant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackram is the sergeant, and I think he is my favorite character in the story.
He is also very clever.
Yeah, and he's also morally bankrupt, but by a lot, probably the cleverest character in... Not the smartest, but he is the cleverest.
Yeah.
Because probably, like, as far as smarts go, it might go to Lieutenant Blouse. Because Lieutenant Blouse is very technically minded. Like, he's really good with, like, logistics. He's good at... He actually, like, breaks the code that Zlabinia was using with their little mobile clacks.
He was the one who brought a trunk of books, right?
Yes.
And he had never left and done any actual battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, prior to that, he was he was a quartermaster, I think. Mm-hmm. So basically just a guy that knows about logistics. And he's also considered like a knob or like part of the upper class.
Mm-hmm. And Jackram has to manage him while making him think he's being respectful and keep him out of trouble.
Yeah, and both him and Polly, Polly is learning how to drive a Rupert, as they say, because they're all just like, oh, they're all called Rupert or Daniel or something. Mm-hmm. But Polly is learning how to drive an officer like Jackram.
Yeah. God, it's just like driving a husband.
Yeah. See, that's another fun parallel that I thought about. Because it's a woman that cannot directly be in charge, but if she can make it seem like the officer's or the husband's idea, and there's a pretty good instance of that happens later on.
I love in My Big Fat Greek Wedding where I think maybe it was the mom talking, and she says, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck.
Yeah, it kind of is that situation. But yeah, Jackram is a fat drunk in his 60s. Mm-hmm. Or thereabouts. We're not really sure how old he is. He's not really sure how old he is.
Right.
He's been in the army for at least 50 years. Or 40 years. I can't remember. He is a jolly, bossy sergeant, and his favorite little line that he says is, I swear upon my oath I am not a violent man. Usually right before hitting someone.
Yeah.
And he'll change it up. I'm not a shouty man. I'm not a lying man. And it's always true. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the story, he's not a man.
Jackram is also not a man.
Mm-hmm. Even though he is like everyone's icon as far as like manliness and soldierliness in the story. Like people will just come up to him and tell him what a fucking hero he is to them. Mm-hmm. And it's a woman. Mm-hmm. And it's really fun because, throughout the entire story, it's like, it's the perfect setup because he's telling you over and over and over again just about almost every time he speaks in a big chunk of dialogue, he says something like that. Mm-hmm. And at that moment it hits. And Pratchett is really good at setup. Like for all the jokes, like he sets up jokes in like the first 15 or 20 pages that don't pay off until the very end of the book. Mm-hmm. And I love that.
Yes. His books are the ones I always say they get better every time you read them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this one really does because you go back and reread and, of course the first time you don't know that everyone in the situation is a woman. Mm-hmm. And you go back and reread it and you start actually paying attention to what they're doing, and they're also nervous, and Polly is nervous. Like you go back to the first night that Polly is sleeping in one of the outbuildings outside the tavern at the beginning of the story. Mm-hmm. She's like faking farting and snoring in her sleep. And the first time you think, oh, all the rest of the guys, they're just farting and snoring like normal. But they're all girls. And they're also all fake farting and snoring. So Polly's just like, I don't think I'm doing it loud enough. They're going to catch me. And they're going to think I'm not actually a boy. So she starts doing it louder. And that makes all of them start doing it louder. And no one is actually farting or snoring. I'm just imagining like a room full of girls. And they're just like putting their hands on their mouth and like making the fart noise, all increasingly loud at each other.
They're putting their hands in their armpits really hard. And Polly's original goal was to find her brother. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the story, they get toward that direction of wherever he was being held. But along the way, aren't they like, do they know that's where she's wanting to go? Or is that just where the
Not the
army
entire time.
is like
I'd say
gathering?
Probably. Well, the army is all gathering there anyway.
Okay, so that's kind of where everyone is headed.
Yeah, that's
right?
where the majority of the army is anyway, because they're kind of just cornered on all sides, and that's the only place left for them. The only possible version where they come out good in this situation is if they get the keep back and like dig in.
Okay.
But they've already had the keep taken away from them.
Right.
And they're completely just sitting ducks. The only thing keeping everyone else from actually just going down and swooping in and slaughtering them all is that no one wants to. Like, they're incredibly vulnerable, and they all just keep fighting. And at one point, Vimes is in the story. He's not a huge part, but he plays his part. But everyone else is just like sick of fighting.
This is basically Monty Python's Black Knight.
Yeah.
Saying, it's only a flesh wound.
Right.
It was only a scratch. Come at ya. And there's like, dude, stop. You are dying.
Yeah.
You have children left. Quit.
But the Borgravians are just like, they're just wanting to get slaughtered is what it seems like to the enemy armies. But yeah, no one actually wants to destroy them except for Slovenia.
Right.
And Slovenia only wants them destroyed so that he can take over because he is in line for the throne after the Duchess. No one can prove that the Duchess is dead directly.
Oh.
So he's in line for it, but can't take it until everyone publicly knows that the Duchess is not alive anymore.
Right.
So Polly gets recruited. The plan is to go to another town to start training and go to the front lines. But orders come from on high that they are going straight to the front.
Which is at that keep. Yeah, okay.
So they're not getting any training.
Right.
They're just going straight to the front lines. And this is because the army is desperate.
In the best situation, these are boys who at one point in time may have held a sword, and they're not actually boys, they're girls.
Yeah.
But even still...
This is a symptom of them losing the war and becoming increasingly desperate, and they just need more bodies to lay down and die in front of someone else holding a sword.
Yeah. Because, okay, and isn't Jackram really mad about that?
Yeah, well, Jackram, his full intention is to get them to the army encampment and basically kind of just hide them around. He has, like, no intention of actually getting them in a fight. Or at least, like, a full-scale war.
Right. He's out there recruiting because he has to. But he really doesn't want to walk them to a front line and watch them all get chopped to death.
Right. But despite this being a very clear symptom of them losing the war, no one says it. And the officer, Blouse, has to make up a reason on the spot. And it's just like, oh, well, we're doing so well that you don't even need any training. And, like, no one buys it. And a good part of the reason why that is because of their propaganda mill and their political division, and that kind of is just completely encompassed in one character named Strappy.
Oh.
And he is a corporal.
Okay.
Basically, he is kind of just a spy to spy on on their own soldiers, so that, if anyone is spreading despondency, they get put away. Even though it's just someone just telling the truth that they're losing the war.
Or complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if Strappy just doesn't like them.
Oh, okay.
He is the token little shit of the book.
Is he with their troop then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is under Jackram, I think. I don't know how...
hierarchy works.
The hierarchy works in the army and stuff. So.
Okay.
However, it seems that he is under Jackram just by their dynamic.
Right.
Yeah, anyone caught spreading alarm and despondency can expect some kind of court-martial or some kind of punishment. Fortunately for Polly, Jackram and a couple others are clever enough to navigate or manipulate their lieutenant into making good decisions. Like planting ideas in his head so that he thinks they're his idea, as we talked about earlier, or by letting him be duped for their own benefit. In one instance, Lieutenant Blouse is attempting to interrogate a prisoner. And he's so meek.
He's such a meek man. He is really, really quiet and shy.
Yeah, he is very much a meek, mild gentleman. Doesn't have a chin.
Very bookish.
His lower lip just descends into his neck.
Yes. Very upper crust. You can tell by lack of chin.
But he's also got like some sort of wild backstory. Like everybody's got like a tragic backstory in the story. Like Wazir was abused and has like religious mania. Tonker and Shifty were both abused in the Grey House or something. Basically made slaves.
A working house.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So much so that Shifty became a pyromaniac. And the way Tonker puts it is she doesn't have middle gears, which means she like blows up in an instant. I think that's the main ones that I can think of with trauma. But Blouse also has trauma of some kind. Like he was in like some kind of fucked up rich boy school because one little bit of the world building is the soldiers all eat this kind of like meat gruel. They call it scubbo. Where they pretty much just take whatever kind of meat they can find, like, or it'll be rat or horse or leather or just whatever they can find to eat, and they boil the shit out of it until it disintegrates, and they call that scubbo. And what Blouse is trying to do is trying to bolster his men by eating the same thing they're eating and, like, kind of have a bond with them or something. And, even though Shifty is a really good cook, and she just finds food everywhere and like actually cooks it up good, but they still make the scubbo just for Blouse because he's a knob. But Blouse eats the scubbo, and he's just like, yes, just like when I was a kid. This is perfect, actually. This is actually really good. And I was just like, what the fuck happened to him?
That's funny.
So I think he also had like some kind of neglect or something. So everybody got backstory.
Yep.
But yeah, Blouse is trying to interrogate a prisoner. Jackram is trying to intimidate the prisoner. Jackram thinks that they should just kill the guy because he's a sergeant and he knows how sergeants are. But Blouse orders him out and is ordered to send back a couple of the other troops. And of course the enemy sergeant gets free and takes Blouse hostage. And Jackram just happens to show up just at the right time to shoot the sergeant while nicking Blouse in the ear with an arrow.
By accident.
By accident, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. It was the only shot he had. Yeah. And Polly, who saw the whole thing kind of as it went, and like saw how it actually went down, I guess, pieces it together and confronts Jackram about it. Quote, "You murdered that man last night." "Really? Prove it," said Jackram. "Well, I can't, can I? But you set it up. You even sent Igor and Wazir to guard him. They're not good with weapons. How good would they have to be, do you think? 4 of you against a man tied up?" So, he's not wrong. But yeah, he's just acting shifty And in no way that you could prove it, but he's manufacturing things to get his way.
He's allowing Blouse to face the consequences of his own actions and not intervening and preventing the harm.
Right.
He's letting him see what happens when he doesn't listen.
Mm-hmm. Which sounds very mom.
It's what wives have to do.
Yep.
And moms.
Yeah. But it is funny that the perfect sergeant in this universe is like basically a school marm. Just a really mean one.
Yeah, also, Jackram's end goal is keep my people alive. Mm. And sometimes letting someone make a mistake and the result is a dead enemy, that's going to be much better and teach Blouse a lesson. Mm-hmm. And it did teach Blouse a lesson, if I remember.
Yeah. God, what was it that happened after that? Prior to that... See, that's what I mean about the setup. The setup is just so good. Mm-hmm. And it takes so long to explain it without just reading it. Prior to that, Blouse and Jackram had an argument. Mm-hmm. And it was... Jackram was giving all the other troops orders. And Blouse is just like, what are you doing? I'm the one in charge here. I should be giving out the orders. And Jackram's just like, I was just anticipating your orders. And Blouse is just like, well, don't do that. And Jackram's just like, what you're supposed to do is tell me, carry on, Sergeant, and let me take care of it. And Blouse is just like, no, I'm giving the orders here. I'm in charge. And after he gets saved from being a hostage and gets shot in the ear, he's just kind of like dumbstruck and is just kind of in shock. And Jackram asks him something, and he's just like, oh, yes, carry on, Sergeant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So really good setup and payoff.
Yes, very much.
So once through all their adventures, they half fumble their way on down to the keep at the Connect River. Mm-hmm. They've all accepted the truth that their country is losing, but they've gotten enough information through their travels and their encounters that they believe if they can gain control of the formerly Borgravian keep, they have a chance of winning the war.
Right.
And it's kind of a, they don't have to win to actually win, they just have to not lose. Mm-hmm. For Polly's part, she's learned the most likely place her brother is going to be is in the keep. So she's all for going and trying to take the keep.
Yeah.
Because that protects her brother.
Yep.
So she takes a page out of Jackram's book and plants an idea in the lieutenant. She's reporting to Blouse about the one weakness in the keep, the entrance where the washerwomen come in and out freely.
Right.
And, the women could be our spies, and if only the women could knock out some of the guards. Suggesting every idea except the one she actually wants to come to, which is they dress as women and enter the keep, because that'd be really easy for them because they're all actually women.
Yeah.
Quote, astonishingly enough, Perks, in your boyish enthusiasm, you have, although you haven't realized it, given me a very interesting idea. Have I, sir? Said Polly, who in her boyish enthusiasm had considered trying to tattoo the idea on Boz's head. And if one, as it were, thinks outside the box... Blouse says, the woman does not in fact need to be a woman. Blouse beamed. Polly allowed her brow to wrinkle in honest puzzlement. Doesn't she, sir? She said, I don't think I quite understand, sir. I am perplexed, sir. Mm-hmm. She could be a man, Perks, said Blouse, almost exploding with delight. One of us in disguise. Except Blouse is talking about himself instead of them. And he recounts all the boyish behaviors that the rest of the crew have been doing, trying to look like boys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the farting and the nose picking and the...
You could never pull it off. You're way too boyish.
And he's like, no, you can never pass as women. But he can because he was in the theater as a boy. He goes through dressing himself as an old crone and infiltrates the keep. Mm-hmm. He's gone for about a whole day, and everyone concludes that obviously he was caught because he's not very convincing as a woman.
He is cartoonishly bad.
Like he's doing like a cartoonishly old lady voice.
Yes. He is doing burlesque level cross-dressing.
Yeah. So now the plan is they're going to also dress up as women and enter the keep and try to save him and take the keep and save Polly's brother. And again, we have these women feeling like they're pretending to be women, but they've gotten used to being relaxed and carrying swords. They don't walk demurely anymore.
Right.
They carry themselves with bravado and undeserved confidence like men.
And swagger. And walk in the middle of the road in front of everybody and don't step out of the way.
And that gets them stopped at the gate. Because these are obviously men.
Are they wearing head coverings? Is head coverings a thing in Borgravia for the women so that they can pretend to be women just by wearing like a hair scarf?
Yeah, I can't remember. Do they call it a shift or something? It's some kind of head covering. But yeah, there's definitely a head covering.
Because they cut their hair, that makes them boys, and their head is not covered. And it's very easy to go back to girl just because you can't grow out your hair in a day.
Right.
But they can just wear a head covering.
The excuse that keeps getting used, like every time Polly has to pretend to be a girl again, is usually in front of an enemy soldier, and she's just like, oh yes, I got caught winking at a Slovenian major or something, and they cut off my hair and they sent me to this podunk ass town. Yeah, they're stopped at this gate to the point that the only way to progress is for one of the girls to literally flash her genitals at one of the guards to convince them that they're not men in disguise. And much to everyone's embarrassment, mostly the guards. And they're all just like crying and like shaming him. He's just like, I was just doing my job. It was very funny. It'd be funnier if Republicans didn't want to do that, actually.
Yes. Oh my god.
Like, I feel like that was included in there just to show how fucking silly that is. Yeah, as far as the battle and the keep goes, they fail in their initial assault because they get caught pretty quickly.
Because they're like, what, 7 teenage girls?
Yeah.
And even if they were teenage boys, they wouldn't have had any more success.
Yeah. But they get caught and found out that the fraudulent washerwomen are actually men who are actually women. So they lock them in a kitchen because they don't know where to put female prisoners.
Right. Because the male soldiers are in the dungeons or whatever.
But this is a kitchen. And it's a kitchen with an oven. And nice dry flour.
Yeah, and we got a pyromaniac in the house. You know it explodes.
This is where I learned that that flour is that explosive.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up after that, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun. I'm also a firebug.
I am too.
But what man would know that, though?
That is true.
Because none of these men ever deal with it, like kneading out flour.
Maybe a miller.
Maybe.
Or a baker. Yeah. Maybe.
So they blast themselves out and release all the prisoners and fight their way into control of the keep. They win, except women fighting in the army is still an abomination.
And so the army literally can't accept its own winning.
Yeah. They can't accept that they got saved by women, so they get court-martialed. And, like, at first they can't even agree as to whether they get court-martialed or not.
Because you would have to be a soldier to get court-martialed.
So first they have to argue as to whether they're soldiers or not before they can get court-martialed, before they can decide whether they're guilty.
Of being women.
Right. And we go through the entire court drama, and it's a lot of fun because everyone's just like snipping at each other. Their lawyer is like pointing out in the Book of Nuggin how fucking ridiculous everything is. Like just earlier that day, he had abominated jigsaw puzzles.
Oh.
Yeah. So just getting increasingly silly and ridiculous.
Right.
And part of what ultimately saves the girls and starts the wheel rolling on some real change is actually Jackram. And, you know, Jackram just got done. He didn't sneak into the keep with the rest of the girls because he's in no way at all girly. He's a 60-year-old fat man, as everyone agrees, and could not pass for a woman. So his plan is to wait for a signal from them and then assault the keep. And, that's what he does. So he's fresh from this fight and busts his way into this court-martial hearing. He starts pointing everyone out. He kicks all the actual men out. No one knows that it's just the biological men, rather.
Right.
And he leaves the head general that is entirely over the army and a couple of colonels and stuff like that.
Kicks the cis men out.
Yeah, kicks the cis men out.
Leaves everyone else in. Yeah. Everyone else is still in there.
And, everyone has a story with Jackrum and his 40 or 50-year-long career, including the highest-ranking colonels and generals, or as Jackrum calls them, Janet, Olga, and Mildred. All young soldiers Jackrum took under his wing, like Polly and these others now, and he uses that leverage. Also, the whole ghost thing happens and convinces everyone that they should stop doing war now and give up and actually attack Borgravia because that's the fucked up place that they need to attack.
Okay.
So the ghost of the Duchess fully embodies Wazir, orders them to stop doing all this dumb shit, pick a different god. There's 300 of them. Ankh-Morpork is more than happy to supply one to you.
Okay. Nuggin is just actually literally insane now.
Well, he's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, he is completely dead, according to the Duchess, I think. And also Vimes says it. I don't know exactly how they know, but everyone is insistent that Nuggin is dead.
Probably the priests and Ankh-Morpork.
Probably, yeah. But what they're hearing or what they're getting as abominations is all of their own insecurities and petty slights and angers and stuff like that just getting kind of reverberated back to them. So, at the end, only a few things got changed. The girls kept their ranks, but are regarded as little more than just cheerleaders, mascots.
Even though Jackrum reveals all of these people are women.
He doesn't entirely out them. That's why he kicked out all of these cis men.
Well, he reveals them to each other.
Right.
And they didn't know the other ones were women as well.
Yeah. And they decide not to, the high-ranking army officials, they don't want to reveal themselves as women. I mean, they've been living as men for
all this time.
Yeah. And I think for them it's much easier to continue living as men than inconvenience themselves with something as little as gender.
So they're kind of placating them by saying, well, you can be girls and you can stay in the military, but you still don't have any real power or rank.
Yeah, they gave as little as they actually possibly could because, they had to have, huge events to even get that much ground moved. Initially it was Jackrum being you have to keep them in the army, and you have to let them be girls, and then their Duchess ghost had to show up, and eventually they finally agreed to everything. So literal world-changing events had to happen in order for this small amount of progress.
Right.
But now I want to focus on an aspect of the last scene with Jack and that YouTuber Sean. This was a really big point that he pointed out that kind of really showed me a lot. Once I actually got to read this, just to give him his credit on it. Throughout the story, Polly has been watching Jackrum to figure out why he goes out of his way to protect a bunch of girls. Until she figures out Jackrum is also a woman on her own. I'm also going to mention how meticulous Pratchett is with the storytelling, as I talked about earlier, with the very subtle inclusions of occasional unlisped S's in Egerina's speech a lot of the time. So Pratchett is very purposeful with his word choices. And now, up until the end, every time someone does a gender reveal with their pronouns change in the story.
Yeah, I noticed that.
They go from being he to she. But none of them are truly trans or anything. They're, gender fluid in some regards, sure.
Some of them were more strongly feminine, and it was harder for them to present But then I think two of those girls were kind of like a couple.
Yeah,
And
Tonker
one of them...
and Shifty were a couple.
Yeah.
And Tonker is very much more mask. And she's like the angry one, so that kind of fits with her personality a little better. And Shifty likes to cook and do more traditionally womany things and also set things on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know which gender picks that one up, actually. We're gendering all these activities. Who gets setting shit on fire? That's my question.
Everybody. That's not.
That's gender neutral.
Yeah.
Setting things on fire is gender neutral.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of them are playing some degree of dress up for a myriad of their own very valid reasons. Even Polly, who throughout the entire story is like questioning gender norms the entire book, never thinks of herself as a boy.
Right.
She just becomes accustomed to the freedom that men are allowed and that women are not. But later, when she returns to the army, she does it as a woman, when she could easily do it as a man. But for Jackram, it's different. Even after he's revealed, his pronouns never change.
Oh.
He's lived as a man for functionally the vast majority of his life. Much longer a time living as a man than as a woman, even though he gave birth at some point.
Yeah.
And to go back now would like destroy his entire identity. Like, he's got so much going for him as a sergeant in the army and as a man. Everyone knows him like that. That's just what he is.
He's not interested in changing back.
Right. He's built a life for himself that he likes like this. And when he returns to his son, whom he hasn't seen since he was a baby, he doesn't return as Jackram says, quote, some fat old biddy banging on his back door and gobbing backy juice all over the place.
Right.
He returns as his decorated war hero father and grandfather.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where the book ends. Other than that, Polly gets dressed up and gets ready to re-enter the army to go to war with Slovenia again. Slovenia. Yeah, that's one of those. And yeah, it kind of ends on that note.
Yeah.
So, what was your initial thought reading this book? Because you said you kind of had like I
had a hard time with it.
Not a positive initial.
Yeah, because like his writing was so clever and so good. I loved the writing. The book itself was painful and really hard for me to enjoy because as a kid, I also read stories about girls cutting their hair, going and joining the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, and I wanted to do that really bad. I wanted to be a boy most of my childhood because they get to fart and walk and, you know, be in the way, be loud and have a life and do things. But I was still, you know, Christian and a stay-at-home mom and quiverful and all of the things. And so it really just felt like the cognitive dissonance is kind of painful. And I was somewhat aware of my cognitive dissonance and would reinforce it to myself. And so I just kind of put him away. And I don't think I read any of his stuff again until after I deconverted. And then I loved it. And I was like, oh, this is clever and amazing. And I started reading, I think I read The Color of Magic and the Rincewind stories. Yeah. And I read Tiffany Aching, those stories. They don't deal with a lot of the gender and religious stuff. It's more cutesy fantasy. So that helped me get back into Discworld. And I didn't even realize Monstrous Regiment was the same author until later. And I don't know if I have I think I've reread it once since that initial read. So it's like, it'd be really interesting to read it now because it's like, you know, I've changed so much and grown so much. And I remember it was such a good book.
Yeah, every time I go back and reread it, I think I've reread it probably like 6 or 7 times now. And every time, it's better every time.
Like, I remember the second time I read it, I realized, oh, Ankh-Morpork, it's that city. Oh, Vimes, he's that cop. Oh, there's the werewolf lady. I recognize her.
It's a standalone, but it definitely helps to know Like, you definitely get more out of it if you know. Because the first time I read this, I hadn't read any of the Night's Watch books. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck Vimes is.
Also, if you don't understand the rules around, like, magic and gods and religion in the world, some of those don't make really a lot of sense the first time to me.
It's definitely... You definitely don't get as much out of it. Like, if you read... Small Gods first, you're definitely going to get a little bit more out of like some of the explanations. So I don't think it's like required, but it definitely helps some.
Yeah.
Because I read this one before, all those other ones, and I got enough out of it to really enjoy it.
Right.
So, yeah, this book is very important to me. It hit me at like the exact right time. Like your first read was like pretty much the exact wrong time. For me, it hit me at the perfect time for me to really enjoy it.
Nice.
And get a lot out of it. Mm-hmm. And for me, like, I've always felt weird about gender norms.
Really?
And ever since like I was probably like 5 or 6, and my great aunt taught me how to sew, but I never felt like free to kind of run with that until like the last couple of years. And like, I've been growing my hair out, stuff that I probably wouldn't have been quite as
You wear hair
to do.
clips.
Yeah, and I wear hair clips. And like I take some amount of effort toward my own appearance a little bit. Like I'm definitely more vain than I used to be.
Better at grooming.
Definitely better at grooming. But yeah, this hit me at the right time, and it's the right entry level for me to have like really been able to digest a lot of its themes and stuff like that. So it was a good one for me. I feel like it was pivotal in some really good ways.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause like as a kid, I never felt like a girl the way the other girls were girly. And then, so all of my friends when I was little were boys until I got boobs. And then they would not look at me. They pretended I didn't exist. They wouldn't talk to me when I talked to them. So the only people who would respond to me like I existed were other girls. And I had a really hard time connecting and liking the same stuff, but I tried really, really hard. And so I did all the girly stuff with them. And then as a stay-at-home mom, quiverful woman, did my very, very best to be female woman, aprons, and all of that. And then leaving it, I've been able to be more masculine, whether or not that's like how I dress. Because I like to wear dresses and things like that. But like ambition is gendered in Christianity, and especially quiverful.
Yeah.
And allowing myself to feel ambition and choose to go to school and have a career, and that my career is important, was like a big thing for me. And this book was specifically triggering to me then and inspiring now. She wanted to take control of her life. I never had control of my life. And leaving Christianity allowed me to say, I'm a person and I control my life no matter what my gender is, And so it's like, now I can just like the things I like, and it doesn't matter whether they're blue or pink. Because kind of like you said, is fire gendered? It was growing up because Boy Scout book was for starting fires, and I was extremely good at starting fires.
Yeah.
I read the Boy Scout handbook and knew how to do all the boy things, but I had to do it in a very long dress with very long hair. And it was a very weird place and situation to be in. Because I had to do all the boy chores, too. Yeah. I had to till the garden. I had to butcher the animals. But I also had to go change diapers.
Yeah.
So I was in a very, very strange place. And not allowed to be girly, but also not allowed to be tomboyish.
Yeah.
So as an adult, I'm like, I just wear these things that I look at and I like them.
Yep.
And when I wear them, I feel nice. And so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I like stealing Lily's shirts.
And
it's always
she
funny
likes
to me.
stealing your clothes.
We both think it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we can all agree gender norms are bullshit.
Pretty much.
Like, what do you mean I can't wear my girlfriend's frilly shirts? and that I actually pull off pretty well. And I can't cross my legs. Who decides these things?
And I can't cross my legs, so...
Yeah.
My hips have never worked that way.
Really?
I haven't been able to cross my legs since I was about 7.
Huh.
And I have been looked at strangely for that, and I'm like, whatever, man.
That's weird.
I secretly am.
You don't cross your legs because it'll hurt your balls.
Yep.
And I cross my legs because I don't have balls.
Well, on that note of just dress however the fuck you want, man.
Yeah. This
Cross
one
your
gets
legs
a trans pride out of 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
And a we love you forever, Sir Terry Prachett.
Yeah. I'm going to do Small Gods next. Because every time I kept thinking about some of the stuff, I was like, I keep wanting to talk about Small Gods, and I can't do 2 books for this one. I'm just going to do that one next time.
That is true.
We're going to slowly evolve into a Terry Prachett podcast like I was afraid of.
Well, only good books, and we do those once a month, and he has done 30 plus books.
Yeah.
So
we got like 2 years.
3 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read his Diggers series. That's with little tiny people who like live in modern times. I think I started reading one of them. Then there's the Tiffany Aching series and the Watchmen.
I still have to read, was it Django or something?
I think there's one that's Django.
Yeah.
Clay Feet. Have you read that one?
I have read it.
It's really good.
Those, I think like the first 4 or 5 Night's Watch books, they're all really good. They're definitely not my favorite, but they're really good. I love the Night's Watch series.
Honestly, his weakest books were the first couple he wrote, like The Color of Magic.
Yeah, the Rincewind novel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are the weaker ones, and then he hits his stride, and he just got so good.
Yeah, it definitely, there were funny bits about it, but he wasn't, quite as tuned with, his joke setups.
Right.
There were things that were happening that were funny, but they weren't, setups.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're, even at his worst, they're still at least okay.
If you have a good book that you think we would love, send it to us in our email, bibliowrecks@gmail.com. And we will update the social soon when I have 2 minutes to think.
Yeah.
When I have a minute to rub 2 brain cells together. Does that sound right?
Yeah. I don't have that either. Doesn't feel like it anyway.
I'm at the bottom of the bell curve for brain cells at the moment.
I'm glad we got someone on the podcast that understands bell curves now. Seriously, anyone but you, and that would have just flown right past. No one would have questioned it.
Well, maybe they would have understood what you meant.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what
they
you
would
meant.
have. I talk very much on vibes. I don't talk in reality. Bye.
Bye.